You come home in tears, not sobbing, just that specific low-grade ache after a long day, the kind where your boss said one sentence and it burrowed into your ribs. You sit down. You start to tell him, and before you finish the second sentence, he says it. Okay, here's what you do. You feel a small door close somewhere inside you. You wanted him to sit with you. Instead, he handed you a checklist. And in that half second, a story starts writing itself in your head. He doesn't listen. He doesn't care. He doesn't feel it with you. What if that story is wrong? What if the solution was the caring? Let's slow down. You are not crazy for feeling dismissed. That feeling is real, and millions of women describe the exact same moment. You open your chest, and he hands you a manual. It is one of the most consistent complaints in heterosexual couples ever recorded. Therapists hear it in the first 10 minutes of a first session. Group chats run on it. Novels sell on it. So the feeling is not a defect in you. It is not thin skin. It is not a hormonal weak. But real and accurate are not the same word. And this one, the he doesn't care story, is a translation error. Running underneath your entire relationship, wearing your emotional voice like a mask. Here is what nobody told you. There is a linguist at Georgetown named Deborah Tannen. In 1990, she published a book called You Just Don't Understand, and in it she draws a line most therapists never quote correctly. She calls it report talk versus rapport talk, and she traces it all the way back to how children play. On the playground, little girls are studying each other's faces, tuning intimacy through matched sentences and shared secrets. Little boys are lining up, negotiating rank, jockeying for who gets to lead the game. Two entirely different survival grammars, same species, different operating systems, wired in before either of you could spell your own name. Rapport talk is what you were doing on the couch tonight. You were saying, sit next to me inside this feeling. You were not asking for a strategy, you were asking to be witnessed. Report talk is what he was doing when he interrupted. He heard a problem. He reached for the highest stakes offering a man is trained to hand another human being, and he handed it to you. Read that again. The advice is not a dismissal of your feeling. The advice is the offering. It is the thing he was taught, from age 4, to bring to the people he loves most. Fix it. Solve it. Protect them by removing the threat. In his internal ledger, competence is love made visible. If he gives you advice, you are on the short list of people whose pain he considers his personal responsibility. If he gives you nothing, a nod, a shrug, that sucks, that is when you should worry. Now hold two people saying the same sentence. You say, I have a problem. Inside your social contract, that sentence means, come close, mirror me, feel it with me, tell me I am not alone. If he responds with a solution, he has broken the contract. He has stepped away instead of stepping in. He says, I have a problem. Inside his social contract, that same sentence means, I am exposing a weakness, and I am asking you to help me fix it. If you respond with mirroring, oh, that must be so hard, tell me more, he does not feel witnessed. He feels stalled. He feels like you noticed he is bleeding and handed him a poem. Same 5 words, 2 entire operating systems. You have been sending each other letters in languages neither of you was taught to read. Watch what happens next, because this is where most couples lose years. You feel unseen, so you go quiet. You pull the blanket up, you answer in shorter sentences. Somewhere in your body, a small withdrawal begins. It is not a decision. It is a nervous system saying, the person I opened to did not open back. He watches you go quiet, and here is what nobody explains. Inside his wiring, your withdrawal does not read as, she is hurt. It reads as, I failed. His offering, the advice, the fix, the highest vulnerability gift he had, was rejected. In the language he speaks, a failed fix is a status wound. A man who cannot help the woman he loves feels his competence collapse. So he does the thing that looks like coldness and is actually shame. He goes flat. He picks up his phone. He shuts the door. You read the closed door as proof he never cared. He reads your silence as proof he is not enough. Both of you sitting 10 feet apart. Both of you certain the other one is the cold one. Neither of you is. You are both the wounded one. And the quiet tragedy is that neither of you was ever taught to see through the disguise on the other side of the couch. Researchers who code couples' interactions frame by frame, the ones running long-term observation labs like John Gottman's, see this loop over and over. The spiral you are calling emotional distance almost always begins here. Not with a fight, not with a betrayal, with a single mistranslated moment of help, one misread offering, and then another, and then months. You are not crazy. He is not cold. You are two people who were each handed a completely different manual for the sentence, "I have a problem," and neither of you was ever told the other manual exists. So what do you do with this? You do not have to become a woman who wants advice. You do not have to fake gratitude for a solution when your body needed a hand on your back. That is not the ask. The ask is smaller. The ask is 2 words. Before you start the story, before you open the chest, before he can even reach for the toolbox, you say it. Just rapport. That is your script now. 2 words. It means, I am not bringing you a problem. I am bringing you my day. Sit next to me inside it. No fix, no plan, just rapport. You will feel silly the first time. He will look at you like you handed him a foreign coin. Explain it once, not as a rule, as a translation. Tell him, when I say just rapport, it means the most helpful thing you can do is nothing but stay here. No opinions, no plans, just your shoulder against mine while I finish. And then watch what happens to him. Because a man who is finally told, in plain language, what the offering is, a man who is released from the pressure to fix, very often becomes the thing you wished he was all along. Present, slow, quiet next to you. Not because he changed, because you finally handed him the manual. Go back to tonight. You are on the couch. He is about to say, okay, here's what you do. You raise a hand gently. Just rapport. And the small door that closed inside you? It opens again. Not because he read your mind, because you stopped punishing him for speaking the only love language he was ever trained in, and started teaching him yours. That is the reframe. His advice was not the absence of love. It was love arriving in the wrong outfit, using the wrong words, wrapped in the wrong tone. And you have been rejecting it for years, because nobody ever told you what it was wearing. Now you know.